Hello, and welcome to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I'm your host, AC, and joining us in studio today is Rabbi Matt Derrenbacher from Congregation Beth Shalom. Hello, Rabbi Matt.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right, thanks.
Good,
Thanks for having me.
Good. Absolutely. Happy to have you here. And nice kicks, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice kicks. So let's start off by talking about April and the significance of April. April is Holocaust Awareness Month.
Yep.
Why April?
So when trying to decide when to exactly commemorate and educate specifically the topic of the Holocaust, there were a couple of months that were sort of thrown out there, but we landed on April because Yom HaShoah, the day which commemorates the Holocaust specifically within the Jewish community, it occurs on the 27th of Nisan. So the Jewish calendar is built on the lunar cycle, so on the moon. And that was the day of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. So the date that was settled on was the 27th of Nisan, and because it's the lunar cycle, it moves around a little bit, so it can happen in April and go as far as the beginning of May.
Okay, as far as the beginning of May.
Yeah.
Now, typically, like around the nation or the world, how do people typically commemorate this time in April?
Yeah, so there's a lot of extra sort of Holocaust awareness and education that goes into this time of the year. So January 27th is the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. And then the month of April, because we have specific, in specific Jewish communities, we have commemorations and special services. It sort of leaks out into the broader community.
Understood. And so I know you guys have some things coming up here locally in town. Tell us a little bit about what you have coming up.
Yeah, so we have a very, very exciting opportunity coming up. Howard Reich, who his mother survived the Holocaust, and so he wrote a book called Prisoner of Her Past, in which he sort of details his journey in discovering his mother's history and everything that she went through, and he had some intimate conversations with Elie Wiesel as well. So Howard will be coming and talking about those two books. He'll be doing an event at the congregation, and then we'll have an open movie screening. So he turned the book Prisoner of Her Past into a documentary film, and we'll be showing it on April 4th at 7 p.m. at the Jesse Wrench Auditorium.
And we have a little clip of that documentary that we are going to roll for you, and then we'll come back and talk a little more about it.
Sounds great.
My mother never trusted anyone. She trusted my father, her pillar in life, her social connection.
My mom always slept with one of those meat axes under her pillow every single night.
And the same thing is starting all over again. The Holocaust has begun again.
Getting that diagnosis was the first step in finding out what happened to my mother. Leon is my mother's cousin. Like my mother, he was running and hiding after his parents were killed.
Sonia has some imagined that you are here.
I don't think so. I don't think so. She doesn't want to hear about it. Don't tell me about Poland. Don't tell me about the past.
And so that's just a small clip, but you will be showing the entire movie.
Yes.
And then after the movie, there's a discussion, a Q&A.
Yep.
Okay, tell us about what people can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be showing the film, and then right afterwards, Howard himself will be there. Amy Simons and myself will be hosting a panel. So we'll be sort of moderating, asking for questions from anyone who has read either the books or attended the film, anyone who wants to know more about how to engage in Holocaust education and what that means for us in our modern context as well.
Yeah, that's and real quick again, it's April 4th.
Yep, Thursday, April 4th at 7 p.m.
And this event, if I'm not mistaken, is free and
Absolutely.
open to the public.
Yep, everyone
So
is welcome.
Anybody who is interested can come. But is your congregation reading? Do you have people in the community who are reading specifically a couple of these books now?
Yeah, we do actually. Thanks for asking. So we do have a couple of book clubs and things in the congregation that are hosting readings of the books and discussions around them. So they'll be reading those two books between now and the event, and so they'll be asking questions based on the books and the film itself, and they'll be hosting their own sort of discussion groups as well.
Okay. I often wonder, when we're talking about these kinds of very important historic events, what are your thoughts on it's one thing to talk to a congregation that already kind of knows about these events, but how you get more general awareness out, to the community at large about the importance of these events, because this is why we do these months and remembrance days,
Right.
to kind of help spread that awareness more broadly.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we do within the community, right, is sort of share our own experiences and our own relationship to the horrors of the Holocaust. And one of the best things that we can do, education is at the heart of the Jewish tradition. And so one of the things we really, really love to do is to have tough conversations around big topics like the Holocaust and what humanity as a whole can learn from these terrible events, right? So it is very, very important for us to not just talk about it in our Jewish and Jewish adjacent bubble, but to really bring it out into the wider community.
Yeah, that's very important for obvious reasons. And would you say, we always talk about history and how it's important to know history so that history is not repeated.
Yeah.
Right? And also to honor the people
Absolutely.
who went through these horrific events. There's still family members out there, as we will see in the movie, correct?
Yep, 100%.
I mean, is this son was able to get this information from his mother, right? Who, if I'm not mistaken, had not talked about it a lot until that time?
Right, until she started having some mental health crises as she progressed in age, right? So there are lots of stories out there that we are still sort of gathering as people get older, as the generation who actually experienced it is slowly becoming the generation of memory. And so now it is on our generation to sort of hold up those memories and continue to teach the ideals of peace and love and acceptance and community building so that we can do everything we possibly can to prevent something like that from happening again.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Rabbi Matt.
Thank you.
Hope to see a bunch of people out on April 4th to engage in this very important discussion.
Absolutely. Thank you.